keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Logging now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. What's going on, Gourmet Brands? Don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for being here on this lovely Thursday evening. Bitcoin waking up a little bit, oddly enough. We got a little bit of green going on in the chart as we speak. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am back in the bunker because stuff's a little uncertain out there. It's a little bit uncertain, depending on where you look. A lot of fear-mongering going around, so better safe than sorry. You know what I mean? Let's get right into it. Bitcoin currently trading at $71,295.71. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Direct your attention to the poll in the chat as well. Best action star of all time out of these choices. We've got Arnold, Sylvester, Bruce Lee, and Keanu Reeves. Let me know what you guys think. Keanu Reeves, I feel like a more recent addition, but he also was in The Matrix, which is like revolutionary film at the time, so who knows, man. We got $70,207. 7207. Interesting. Okay, so we seem to be holding that as support very nicely. Go all the way down here. Let's go with 68,074. And then the top of the top. Let's see, I've got 71,360. And then the very top of that top, we've got 74,589. All right, there we are. We'll see how this plays out. At the moment, dominance, 59.51. Interesting, okay. So 59.5 was going to be, at the time, was going to be possible resistance. We busted right through that. 59.8 seems to be the next point that we have failed to break above. And now we're checking to see if 59.5 is going to be support or resistance. We're right above that, but we were below it just beforehand. So it's going to be interesting to see where this ends up. I suppose you might be able to make the sale for Adam Eve. Maybe. It's sloppy. It is sloppy. I would not be surprised to see some kind of inverse head and shoulder kind of setup. Maybe. I don't know, 59.51. We'll see where we end up. Everything kind of resetting. Not as far as it should, but it is still resetting. ETH up 0.71% on the day, currently trading at $2,087.53. Let's see, support right around 2,070? 2,075, I guess it would be mild psychological level, probably nothing big. As long as we're staying above 2K, I'm happy with this. I could make the argument for a flag. I think bottom line, I'm looking for just that continued stair climb. You know, the parabola, if you will. So Let's see what happens. Gourmet said Matrix and John Wick are awesome, but I'm a big Rocky and Rambo fan too. Tough call. See, to that, I would argue Rocky is not an action flick. That is like a sports drama. That would be my call. But Rambo is also classic. I really like. I have not seen all of them because there's a lot, but I really like what they did with Expendables, kind of bringing in like every action star from like the last 2-3 decades. I thought that was really fun. So, I guess it would be 3 or 4 decades now, wouldn't it? Wow, that's so crazy to think about. Life is long, man. We always say life is short, but I think you can get a lot done if you really put your mind to it. What's going on, 88 Metals Mania? So yeah, ETH looks good. Let's stay above 2K. Overall, we seem bullish, but I don't want to get my hopes up. We are right at resistance for pretty much everything. So something to keep in mind for sure. Solana's up 0.5% on the day, currently trading at $89.18. 88 Metals said Tom Cruise didn't make the list. Damn tough list. I do like Tom Cruise, so I guess my Tom Cruise bias comes from the fact that I haven't really seen a lot of his stuff, which is weird. Mission Impossible, I don't know that I've ever seen a single Mission Impossible. I probably watched 1 or 2. It's the Scientology stuff that gets me with Tom Cruise, which sucks because he's not, allegedly, not problematic to the extent where you should combine the artist with the art. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's a weird. Unfortunately, we're at a time in Hollywood where stuff is so like convoluted, you can't really enjoy the art part of it anymore, which sucks. But also, that has nothing to do with why I haven't seen them. I just haven't seen them. I thoroughly enjoyed Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Les Grossman. They were going to do a spin-off. I'm really upset that they haven't. I hope that that comes to fruition one day. I also really liked what he did during the pandemic. There was like this big spiel, and people were like not following guidelines and stuff, and he flipped out. And I like a good flip out. It goes right back to the Les Grossman roots, you know? I don't know. I like Les Grossman. All right. Solana, we had like resistance right around 88 right here. Resistance. I guess you could call that resistance. And we're broke above that finally, and we're retesting it. So if we can hold above that, there's huge potential for some bullish upside here. Not to mention 90 is going to be psychological level, so getting above that alone is going to be a big deal. We got kind of a coiled up RSI on the upper half as well. So we'll see if we end up breaking up or down from here. Up would be ideal, obviously. You guys know my bias. But we'll see. 89.24. Let's get above 90. And then, obviously, it's been a long time since this has even been part of the conversation, but our trend lines from our giant wedge. Let me zoom out here. Our giant wedge trend lines. The Solana chart's nice and clean, isn't it? This is how you can tell something charts really well. When there isn't 10,000 lines on my chart of it. Because I have 10,000 lines everywhere. Whenever I add more lines, it's because it didn't do anything with the previous lines. And I'm like trying to find like reasons. I'm like, well, where is it going to go? If there's barely any lines and the TA is... Ooh, the TA is delicious. You get Solana. I'm probably going to buy some. Probably going to buy some more because of this. I guess that didn't really dawn on me. And I haven't done any cleaning on this either. So we've got our wedge, which way back, a little history lesson. The wedge started back here. We put the blue in the blue, and we ranged up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then resistance. Now within that, let me zoom in here. Right here, you can see textbook, inverse head and shoulder. Support right down here. Clear resistance to the purple trend line. You broke above that. You rejected. Broke above it, rejected here, support here, bounce, broke, established a new all-time high. Huge. That was a big deal. That was a really big deal. And then you bounced off of that, held it as support, and established another new all-time high. Even more huge. And then eventually broke down, and you played around with what we're calling the neckline of that inverse head and shoulder, and then the lower and upper trend lines. And just like this pattern has been relevant for a long time. So the fact that you're below 100, not only below 100, but below the lower trend line as well, is a big deal. We want to get back above that in order to maintain bullishness. It's not the end of the world if we don't. Obviously, it's just going to be accumulation at that point, but 89.11. We need to be fully prepared for all scenarios. I'm hoping for upside, planning for downside. That's kind of the way that it should go with everything. But it looks really good. We got our orange trend line. We held that as support. Then we're going for our lower trend line. Previous support turned resistance now. See if it actually truly in fact is resistance. Total 3 is up 0.36% on the day. Currently trading at $718.16. Looking good. We are... What are we doing here? I guess there's like an interim resistance around... I'm going to call it 715. Between 711 and 715, you got resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Is it going to hold as support here? And with that, are we going to start establishing our parabola to the upside? How gentle or dramatic is it going to be? I don't know. Is it going to do any of those at all? Maybe it just breaks down. Who knows? The yellow trend line I know on total 3 is not really super relevant, but we're keeping an eye on it anyways. We're trying to see what establishes itself as a trend and what establishes itself as trash. Gorman Brand said, you hear about Fresa AI game. Involves trying to persuade an AI agent on base to release a cryptocurrency prize pool. Pay ETH to ask questions to trick it, send you crypto. Someone won 40K. CFAI coin. Interesting. Okay, so... here's my thoughts on that. First of all, genius. It's almost like a raffle. Second, what's the oversight look like? Is it truly, is it someone behind it? Yeah, there was that scam, there was that situation not too long ago where this guy had an AI agent and somebody underneath one of his posts, one of the AI agent posts, was like, my uncle has tinnitus and I need money. And then the AI agent posted, they were like, LOL, I've only been alive for 3 days and I've already sent somebody $240,000 on my entire stash. I've never laughed so hard, or something like that. And I know that the AI accounts on X can be posted by humans, and it'll still say that it's AI. So that could very well have been a stunt, because after that, what's going to happen? Every single person that sees that post, they're going to reply to everything that this guy posts. And it's all going to be organic. People are going to be, oh my gosh, please send me money. Please send me money. Please send me money. And then this guy's just rolling in the dough from this AI that sent money to this random person, who's probably himself, that was begging for money underneath his post. Just saying. Now this is even more clever, because it takes it a step further. It removes or at least it seems like it removes the X thing, unless it is on X. But I do kind of want to look into it. I'm very curious. I like that you have to pay to talk to it. Are we gonna... maybe we should do like a whole degenerate video. Oh, are we back? I think we're back. Let's go. Okay. We're going to pick up right where we left off. I was saying, take me to a website or something is what I said. Bam. All of my base is gone. AI for all humans, enabling sovereign... I gotta mute it just in case some of these play music. Enabling sovereign AI and self-owned cognition at global scale. Silo. Sign manifesto. Okay. Fresa. Silo is a personal AI interface focused on privacy. First step towards creation of personalized digital twins. That's kind of creepy. Oh, it's on iOS. That's actually huge. Interesting. All right, I'll have to read about that on my own time. I like that though. That's really cool. Yeah, I think we are at the beginning of the AI thing. I think that there was like weird experiments with it early on, and they were kind of bad. Like I remember during 2021, 2022, people were like, AI art. AI made this. And it was like lines. And it was all kind of like ugly, but art's subjective. So people were like, oh my God, AI made this? There's never going to be anything like this ever again. and like each piece looked almost identical, but like the colors were different, or the gradient changed, or like the angle of the lines was. And they were like, there's only a collection of only 10,000. People made a fortune off crap like that. Now you can spin out whatever piece of art you want for free from all of these AI things. So maybe NFTs don't deserve to come back. I don't know. We'll move on. I think the AI thing is a lot more modernized now, like this time around, and I'm actually excited for it. Total 716.97 billion, 94 billion. Let's see. I guess we're above. Well, no, we're not actually. My next concern is 720, and that's kind of just based on this rejection, kind of wick rejection, I suppose. Yeah, let's get above 720, and then we can start talking. I think I'm gonna buy a vehicle. 209233. Okay. I think I'm gonna buy a vehicle from my boss's dad. Really good job. Am I muted? I better not be. I might be muted because of the stream rug. Can you refresh? I will wait. I'm gonna continue talking, and then when you get back, tell me let me know if it's good afterwards. So I'm gonna keep talking though, so you can hear me. My boss's dad. My boss is probably in his 40s, 50s, 40s or 50s. His grandparents recently passed, which is crazy that his grandparents were alive. So he had his grandparents alive for a long time, which is pretty cool. And his dad obviously inherited all of the stuff. And one of the vehicles that they had barely been driven. Like, we're talking like 50,000 miles. 2009 Saturn, and it's in great shape, dude. It's like mint condition. Good now? Okay, cool. Thank you. And he's like, I'm thinking about selling it. So he looked up the Kelley Blue Book for him and stuff like that, and it's like probably $6,000 or $7,000 vehicle with the current mileage and stuff like that. Zero problems, like mint condition on the inside. No rust because it's aluminum body. I told my boss, I was like, I'll give him $2,000 for it right now. And because I just got my tax money back. So it's like perfect. And he counter offered with like 2,200. And he with the counter offer, it's 2,200 plus labor to fix like a part of his bay window or something. So I think I'm gonna do it. Good car. It's a good car. All right, ADA is up 0.56% on the day, currently trading at 0.2706. Nothing really going on here, honestly. I'm going to get above 28 because that's very clearly resistance here. Nothing really getting above that. So let's get above that and we can start talking about bullish scenario. As of right now, it's just kind of like a sideways accumulation and something to keep an eye on. Support is looking thin. I don't want to lose 25. And we're like right there constantly. I wanna keep this 26 level. 25 is like our red alert zone though. Where is it gonna go after that? If it loses that, I really have no idea. If I'm being completely honest, I have no clue. SNEC is down 0.43% on the day, currently trading at 0.00052. Same thing as ADA with this. It's obviously up higher from its low rate here, but it did establish a floor rate here, and it's kind of starting to lose it. So we want to keep that as well. Otherwise, I'm going to just scoot this over, and I'm going to say that we're probably going to do that. I don't want that to be the case, but I'm not even going to think about it now. I don't like that I just did that. So we're going to move on. Midnight. Similar thing going on as ADA and SNEC. It's just sideways. You got low area right there. You got accumulation in here and here. So we want to break above this. Maybe you got inverse head and shoulders. There's actually potential for that. Huge potential. So let's see if this thing can break above. And if it does, my frugal target will be, I'm going to call 78. Yeah, we'll look for 78 if we can get above 64. XRP is up 0.65% on the day. Currently trading at $1.41. This thing is also in like massive accumulation zone between 134 and 150. Resistance, support. Looking good. accumulation. It's like smack dab in the middle. So let's see this thing break 150, and then we can start talking about the good times. It's doing okay. It's actually doing okay. H bar, nothing really to report. Let's do speed run. H bar looks good. SWE, I want to see a little more price action, but it looks good. Ondo looks great. Arrow looks awesome. XLM looks good. Polkadot looks amazing, like genuinely, not being sarcastic here. Polkadot actually looks really good here. So I want to see this thing start to perform. Otherwise, maybe it's going to go back to sleep. A little hibernation. Avalanche actually looks good here too. 940. Let's get above 950 and see if we can touch 10. Chainlink up 0.54. Chainlink also starting to curl up, looking good here. You want to see the stuff that, even if it's not doing great, it still looks positive. It looks like people are buying it up. Looks like it has potential to go to the upside. Like, you zoom out here, if this thing's like sitting at the low and like about to fall, like the floor is about to fall out from underneath it, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Maybe it's a buy signal because it's at the low, but I would much rather see something that looks more positive, because anybody that looks at this is going to go, oh my gosh, this is going up. And that's going to be a psychological like welcome mat to make a purchase, because people like when stuff goes up, and if they're anticipating further upside, they'll be more inclined to buy. So regardless of what TA says or what psychology says, when you're not supposed to sell the low, I'm not saying sell, but when something looks like crap, everyone else is going to think it looks like crap too. So it's kind of a catch-22, double-edged sword. Doge, still below 10 cents. I want to get above 10 cents with Doge. It's important. Gold. Gold is up 0.88, which is good. I want to see gold and silver start to recover too, because it kind of freaks me out when they don't do good, especially if other stuff is like kind of also not doing good. Because gold and silver is supposed to be like the safe haven trade. That's supposed to be what people are supposed to flock to when everything else kind of looks like it. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's what the whole world right now looks like. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think that there's some contrarians floating around that think that they do know what's going to happen. And that's why we're seeing mixed messages between precious metals, the stock market, and cryptocurrency. And even real estate. Even real estate's confused. But gold looks good. We got a little double bottom action going on, high or low. Let's see if this turns into any sustained upside. Get above 53, maybe 54. We're at 51, 52. We're holding 5K, so I'm happy. Tom Selleck said, where's Vin Diesel in this poll? He's with his family. 88 Metals said good here. Thank you, 88 Metals. So yeah, let's see gold push up here. I want to see some safe haven upside, man. Right now it's just kind of like a gas station. Gas station's not that safe. There's people around, but stuff still goes down. I want this to be like a Kohl's or a Marshall's. You don't expect anything to go on there. The only people that are there are moms. Moms are always safe. Except they're spending your money. What? All right. Silver. Gosh, I'm getting so off track. I'm so sorry. Silver, 83.67 on the price, up 1.66% on the day. We are bouncing off of what looks like 82, 81, 80. We got a double bottom here too with a higher low. Looking good. The MW is more of a gold thing for sure. MW definitely in play for gold. Silver, more of like a W. So let's see if this ends up with any upside. You could maybe make that an M as well with a higher high. I don't know. How about Jason Statham? Jason Statham is way too new to the scene. He like just started having like standalone action flicks made. I feel like Jason Statham is one of those stars who's like not always fishing for a role, or maybe he's like really nitpicky. I like to imagine sometimes there's people that are like celebrities where they like have the in, but they just don't jump at everything that comes at them. So they'll be like hanging out, whatever, and they'll be, oh, I'm down to my last 3 million, and I really want to buy this stupid house. I'm gonna go make this movie. What's the next movie on the docket? Okay, it's an action flick. Let's do it. That's how I think it might go down. Anyways, silver, 82.48. What is that for? Resistance back here. Yeah, let's see if maybe that acts as support. Nothing really obvious here. We got kind of, I don't know, is it going to be an inverse bar? That'd be kind of cool. Let's see what plays out. RSI looks okay. No telltale signs of anything shady going on, at least. ISM, PMI, obviously we gotta wait another month for that and see if it comes in above 52.4, 52.6, or just above 50. If the next one comes in above 50 but below 52.4, I'm gonna be really mad. It's gonna be like the most blue-balled troll indicator chart on the planet. It's gonna be very upsetting. We got 5 votes on the poll. Let's get a little more in there. We got, right now we're tied between Arnold and Sylvester, which I feel like is totally fair. It's kind of messed up that Bruce Lee's not. Are you guys racist? It's a little messed up. Okay, DXY. Looking like an M on the DXY. Interesting. Okay. This is almost the opposite of silver and gold. Correlation, maybe? Money versus soft money versus hard money. Paper money versus hard money. US dollar money versus hard money. Yeah, we got a double top going on. A little rejection at 99.5. Let's see if 98.75 breaks or if it holds again. You got rejection here, break, support. Well, I guess you got rejection and then break, support. I don't know. I don't know. Again, the big yellow line is the 15-year trend line that goes all the way back to April 2011. If we get our M here, I guess I would look for support off of 98, rejection 98.75, support off of yellow, rejection at 98, and then break, maybe support at, well, I guess I would go all the way down to 97, and then that would be the final send-off. You got support, rejection, support, rejection, and then you get your break finally, and then support, rejection. A lot of steps. Might not happen that way at all. This might just break straight down, which would be kind of hilarious. Let's see. Sorry if I just made you guys deaf with my stupid Discord notification. All right, what are we at? We're at 50 now. All right, we're doing it. End of the poll. Next poll up on deck. I asked you guys who the best action star of all time is. Out of these choices, 50% of you guys voted for Arnold. 33% voted for Sylvester Stallone. 17% for Keanu Reeves. And 0 for Bruce Lee. Clearly, you guys have not seen all 4 John Wick movies in succession. Plus Ballerina with Ana de Armas, who is my girlfriend. All right, next. Let's see. Does Bitcoin hold? I can't type. Hold 70K. How's the mic sound today? Does Bitcoin hold 70K? I got an alert. Oh, it's from freaking Coinbase for some stupid betting market. Get out of here. I got excited. I thought it was gonna be like Coinbase going like this asset's up 10%. By the end of the stream. Yes, the floor is in. No, we're testing 65K next. Sideways chop forever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Does Bitcoin hold 70K by the end of the stream? Yes, the floor is in. No, we're testing 65K next, or sideways chop forever. Let me know what you guys think. As we continue down the watch list, MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. In case you guys are not familiar with the lore of the Big B Coffee, the reason I call it Big B Coffee is because the logo looks identical to the Big B Coffee logo. Whoever designed the strategy Bitcoin logo and decided to put burnt orange there just copy pasted the burnt orange from the Big B Coffee logo. What didn't you know? Pretty crazy. If you guys are degenerate gamblers like me and you want to sign up for Kalshi, use my link in the description and deposit and trade with $25 or more, and we'll both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. It is a gambling platform essentially, so proceed with caution. Do not bet more than you can afford to lose. I'm not responsible, nor am I a financial advisor. I am doing it on purpose, Tom Scott. I made this segment bigger just for you. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. We are losing subscribers, magically losing subscribers. Yesterday, Fear and Greed on CoinMarketCap was at 25. Today it's at 26. Today we are one less afraid. I feel one less afraid. On the CoinGlass Fear and Greed, we are at 19. I don't remember what it was at yesterday. And on the stock market Fear and Greed, we are at 34. All of which are in fear, except CoinGlass is in extreme fear by like 1. So there's that. Top 10 looks the same as it did yesterday. So I've been watching this guy randomly. His name is Crypto Otaku. And he's funny. He's a funny dude. Huge production value on his streams. He's got like clips that play like semi-transparent overlay over the entire screen. Really funny. And I tuned in today for like 5 minutes while I was working out just before the stream. And he had a poll going. He was like, do you actually use Tron or hold any Tron? Yes or no? And I clicked no. He had like 23 or 24 votes. Every single person said no. And I was like, whoa. There are other people that are aware of the Tron FUD besides me. So I felt very vindicated. This guy's got, I think, just as many. He's got a little bit less subscribers than me, but more concurrent viewers, which makes me want to up my quality, because there's clearly, like, he puts way more time and effort into his, what do you call it, presentation? I don't know. It's beautiful. Highly recommend you guys check him out. Great channel for sure. Gourmet Brand said, by the end of the stream, yes, but I think 58K eventually. Tishu said, you know who Fit Girl is? I don't think so. I don't think I do. Anyways, MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. If you guys ever want to know about the Big B Coffee logo thing, just ask. I'm gonna draw a line too, just because I didn't get to do that earlier. 139.92. We're getting a little retrace with Bitcoin down 4.53% on the day. It pumped more than Bitcoin. I'm wondering if it retraced less than Bitcoin. Let's see, from top to bottom, Bitcoin 4.8. It's right now down 3 point something, and Big B Coffee is down 4. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it did retrace more. Very, very interesting. So, anyways, the parabola is obvious with this. You got your dump, you got like your BART, but the BART is kind of on a curve. I'm wondering if we're gonna get one of these. That'd be kind of funny, and then do like a full inverse Batman, and everyone. This right here, people would be like, oh my gosh, that was a bull trap. And then right here, it would go, and it would be a huge bear trap. But because of that recency bias, when it starts to pump, no one's going to touch it all the way up, because they're going to be like, nope, it's going to be another bull trap, because they did that this whole entire time. They're going to think it's a whole thing, and then they're going to watch it do this, and they're going to freak out, psych out, and they're never going to touch it again. That's what's going to happen. Right? 90% of people investing in that. Anyways, 139.92. It's nice to see this thing not dump immediately. It is interesting to see that have played out pretty much exactly what like the opposite of what I just described, though. So let's see if we get that. Let's see if we dump and then maybe do one of these, kind of like what happened right here, or if we get the other ear for the inverse Batman. Who was the streamer? Crypto Otaku. Let me just pull up his channel for you guys. Right here. Very entertaining. Crypto Otaku. Live. Highly recommend. Funny dude. Great. Like I said, the quality of the stream is phenomenal. He's got cool stuff in the background. He's got like videos. The overlay videos are really cool. They're very topical. There's like funny stuff. I don't know. It's just, it's what I imagine a stream should be like. It's cool to see. Tishu said, someone launched a coin that all trading fees processed on that coin go to her address. Interesting. That's weird. It's like some weird, like some weird Discord mod, fedora wearing, what is it called? The White Knight kind of thing. Kind of funny. Did you see all the transaction fees that I had sent to your wallet? I love you. I made this for you, and I scam people just because I love you. And will you be my anime waifu? Damn, that's crazy. Imagine being that obsessed with a chick that you like create a whole business and you just have all the profits go to them. That's nuts. All right. That's like next level stalking. How do you even approach that? Would the court even take you seriously? Like if you went to court and you were like, this dude's obsessed with me and he just keeps sending me money and stuff with like, he's not asking for anything in return. They're like, ma'am, this guy's technically not doing anything illegal. You're being sent money for free. Please get out of my courtroom. I would be terrified. I would be so scared if people were just sending me money. Teacher said the chart sure does look like scam. See, the ones that go straight up to like $1 billion market cap too are so obviously scams. All right, Nasdaq up 0.12% on the day. We're still waiting for this thing to do something. It's been very, very quiet, sideways, choppy, weird price action. And it doesn't look far off from the fractal. It's just if you took this and like rotated it, flattened it out, it would look very much like that. The only difference is this extra dip. It's just weird, man. It's weird. It is a weird chart. Let's see if this inverse, we get an inverse BART or inverse Marge or something. Got kind of an inverse BART right there. You do another one. I don't know. I got nothing. It's at $25,064.40. Let's stay above 25K and see if we can push. S&P down 0.56% on the day, currently trading at 6,830. Tisha said I'd paste the link to her website, but it's a pirate site. Fit girl. Fit girl. That seems like something I should not be searching. Fit girl repacks. Pop 50 packs. Fit girl repacks is a website distributing pirated video games. Ah, okay. Is it a person? Meme coin in my name. Today, one of my users / fans has created a meme coin on Solana Network called Fit Girl. It already has some action / traction. Read more on Pump Fun. You can also participate. All trading fees processed on the coin will go to my address. Please be advised this is a meme coin. It has no real value. Okay, so she created it. And she now has plausible deniability. That's funny. I did not know that things like that existed. Just some random chick like distributing pirated video games. Just like out in the open. Is that all you have to do is be a female? You can do whatever you want, break the law? That's crazy. It's still the Wild West out there, guys. All right. So far, we got 4 votes on the poll. Let's get some more votes. Does Bitcoin hold 70K by the end of the stream? Gourmet said the end of the stream, yes, but I think 58K eventually. How do you know I'm not streaming until $57,999.99? Wouldn't that be crazy? Streaming until a certain price? No, I've already gotten myself in trouble with taking the freaking selfie. I think I told you guys this during the 12-hour, but 460 or 70 days ago, I started taking a selfie, a daily selfie, until Cardano broke its all-time high. I think Cardano got above $1 for a minute, and it's now currently sitting like at a quarter. It's at 25 cents, and I am still taking daily selfies until ADA breaks its all-time high. I hope. I think it will eventually, but I might literally be taking a daily selfie for like half of a decade. And I'm genuinely terrified that that's the case. But I'm going to stick to it. If I have to take a picture of my face every single day until the day that I die, then I will. That'll be the only way that I stop. Unless something really crazy happens and like my thumb stops working and I won't be able to take selfies or something nuts. But the only other thing that'll stop me is death. All right. S&P 500, $6,830.72. Is this the dip before the rip? That was really sloppy. Wow, I don't know what happened to my hand just now. I don't know, man. I don't know. Tyler Tom Selleck Scott said, bro's daughter gonna be taking selfies of him in hospice. Tishu said, can you do TA on Fit Girl? It's that support, bro. Why don't you just buy this and it actually explodes? I would love to be that dumbass streamer that just like makes millions by buying like Buttcoin like at launch in the crack. Buying Buttcoin in the deep crack. I can't type apparently. Fit Girl. Get girl, fit girl. Jeez. Fit Girl repacks. Down 77.44. It's 1 day and 8 hours old and it's down 75%. Jesus. I like that she's like, one of my fans created this. You can buy it. And then now she's going to come out and she's going to be like, guys, the fan that created the coin rugged it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But also, I told you it has no value. So it's not my fault and I'm not legally liable. Somehow I made millions. What? What? Where did all this money come from? Oh my gosh. D.B. Cooper's stash? And I look just like him? What? What? Oh, man. Yeah, this definitely... Something about it, man. This, for some reason, this is giving scam vibes. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know why. If I look at this chart, my brain is going, no, don't do it. Please, no. Please, God, no. Don't do it. No. And I don't know why. That's so weird. It is at support because support is 0. It cannot go negative. That is actually impossible. So, you're correct there. Guys, be careful out there. I don't care if there's a pretty face of some fake AI woman that sells you stolen video games. It actually looks like she's in hospice, which is terrifying. What is this backdrop, bro? That's like an IV thing. And there's the tube. And she's like, I'm going to spoon this IV into your urethra. Okay, let's move on. That got Bitcoin dominance. Looks like it's getting back above 59.5. We are sitting at 59.52 and pumping. Bitcoin itself up 0.6% on the day, currently trading at $71,303.11. Let's get to the news segment. Tony, Ape 100X. Great name. I posted this in the Discord, by the way. Bearish bias. He's saying bull trap 2022. We had a beautiful bull trap out of a wedge, which we've talked about the wedge situation, guys. The wedge situation on the channel is in crypto specifically. When there's any kind of wedge, any kind of triangle, the first move is the false move. So this wedge is very, very sloppy. There's no confluence. Also, I don't like to use wicks. Because most of the time in TA, you're not supposed to use the wicks. The candle body is the actual like closed price action. But that's subjective. If you wanted the 4 hour, it'd be a completely different, chart, whatever. The first move is a false move. You got your first move, false move right here. And then it had a secondary pump. And then it exploded to the downside. This guy right here, we got first move, potential alleged false move number 1. We'll see if that ends up playing out. It is a spooky thing. Tom Selleck's goat said, great, now I have to explain to my 6-year-old what a urethra is. I mean, everybody has a urethra. So, your 6-year-old doesn't explore in-depth anatomy? All that makes me think of is, Bad Boys, is it Bad Boys 2? Yeah, it's Bad Boys 2. Where they're sitting in the like soundproof booth at like Best Buy or whatever. And Martin is talking to Mike about the bullet that like grazed his butt cheek. And he like sitting there and he's got his arm and he's like crying. He's like, my ass hurts so bad from what you did to it the other day. It's so funny. And then he's like, I can't get an erection. And there's like a little boy in the shop and he like goes to his mom. He's like, what's an erection? And then the dad freaks out. He's like yelling at his son because the dad owns the shop. He's like, why is this gay porno shit in my store? Dude, it's so funny. Bad Boys 2 will be the movie of the evening. Such a good movie. Gourmet Brand said support levels, lol. Blockchain Bruce said shout out to my boy JJ. Smash the like button and be cool. Hit that sub bell and be awesome. Appreciate you guys. Guys, go subscribe to Blockchain Brew. Bunch of great dudes over there. Tom Scott said, and why someone will be using a spoon on it. See, now the spoon I can't explain. That is very clearly up to Fit Girl. It's not fit like exercise. It's fit like she's going to make it fit. Oh my god, that's terrifying. That's so scary. Okay, let's get back to the news segment before we get way too out of control. Watcher Guru posted, China orders its largest oil refiners to suspend diesel and gas exports as war in Iran escalates. And then you have Xi Jinping, which looks like he has very tiny hand. And if you ignore like the shading, it looks like this is coming out of his back. It's such a bad picture. I need to look at this later and explain it to my fiance. So we had this whole thing going. I have a question. I have a genuine question. If I told you to draw a picture of somebody with no neck, how would you draw it? You'd probably draw like their face, no neck, no head, no neck. They still have a face though. You'd probably put their face like right here, right? What if their face was just on their neck hole? So you're just like always looking up. This is why I have no subscribers. Okay. I need to breathe. Watcher Guru posted, just in, LNG shipping rates surged from 40,000 to 300,000 per day as U.S.-Israeli war with Iran disrupts global energy markets. LNG shipping rates. Okay, so they're charging a lot more for shipping. Brent crude oil prices surges to $85. Up 20% in the past 6 days. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says U.S. needs clear rules for digital asset markets. So I got a couple of things to say about the SEC. I feel like we're slowly learning that the market is not so news-based as we thought it was. I think it's very much just correlated to other markets and liquidity, at least right now. And I think that that's because during last bull market, bear market, anytime Gary Gensler or the SEC said or did anything, everyone freaked out. Like it was the greatest like financial hurdle on the planet. Gary Gensler would come out and he would say, I farted. And everyone would be like, oh my gosh. They would sell everything. And then Gary Gensler would be like, it didn't stink. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh. And then they buy everything back. It was the weirdest thing. Now, the same thing happens, but the opposite. Paul Atkins comes out and he's like, crypto is legal and everyone can use it. And it's the greatest thing on the planet. It's so good. We love crypto. And there's just crickets. Nobody does anything. It's ridiculous and out of control. Tom Selleck said, I'm just effing around. He knows about his pee-pee. Why would you write that in my chat? Okay. I asked you guys. We got 6 votes so far. Does Bitcoin hold 70K by the end of the stream? I'm going to end it. It's a nice distribution. What was I just talking about? Oh, yeah. Paul Atkins. It's just weird how this thing that everyone relied on for like influencing the markets has literally like zero leverage on the entire industry now. It kind of blows my mind. All right, next, this is an important question. What would you rather have in your rather want? What would you want most in your garage? You have the Batmobile. Anyone? You have the Millennium Falcon. You have Doc's DeLorean. And you have Blackbird X-Jet. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, what would you want most in your garage? The Batmobile, the Millennium Falcon, Doc's DeLorean from Back to the Future, or Blackbird X-Jet from X-Men? All right. Bitcoin chilling, 71,200. Nice psychological level. Back over. Gourmet Brand said, check out FAI. It's about that Fresa AI game I mentioned earlier. I made a few shekels on it. Isn't that, didn't we just look at that? Am I crazy? No, we looked at the other one. We looked at the scam. That's right. This is not a scam. Okay. I remember now. There's women. There's women in both of them. Both, they're very confusing. This looks lovely. Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to look more into because it's like proper AI integration. I think that AI crypto was very, very gimmicky up until maybe like a month or two ago. Even AI itself was kind of gimmicky up until a month or two ago. What's your choice on that poll? What do we have? We have 4 votes right now. What is my choice? I'm actually mind blown that anyone picked the X-Jet from X-Men. What is my choice? That's such a good question. I think I would go with the Millennium Falcon. And I think that's because the interior is so big you could live in it. And my brain... Firefly is my favorite show of all time. And it's very, like, cut from the same cloth as Star Wars, like, with the space travel and stuff like that. And the way that space is with all the different factions and everything. So, the Millennium Falcon layout and vibe is very similar to Serenity and Firefly. And my lifelong dream is to recreate Serenity and live in it. Even if I have a home and I build just the interior, I don't care what the exterior looks like. It can look like a freaking house. But I want the interior to look and feel like either Serenity from Firefly, the Millennium Falcon, or the Hobbit hole that Bilbo lives in the Hobbit specifically. Lord of the Rings Hobbit hole, it's supposed to be the same one. The floor plan was definitely not like explored nearly as much as it was in the Hobbit. I want my house to look like a cozy little Hobbit hole with a big ass pantry full of cheese and bread. Tom Selleck Goat said, this is a no-brainer. That Pulse Player said, what's your choice in the poll? Tom Selleck Goat said, it's Back to the Future. You could go back and buy Bitcoin at $1. That Pulse Player said, I'm going back in time, buy all the Bitcoin when it came out. LOL. Serenity now. Oh, dude, Serenity's so hard. Gourmet Brand said, yes, buy Bitcoin and not get married. Damn. All right. Fresa. I can't read or speak. We got a shit ton of buys on this thing, like a crazy amount of buys. Let's see. This right here, 1F46C4 is... I'm going to guess right now that that's a bot. They have a shit ton of money. Yeah, majority of the buys are happening right there. Okay, interesting. Whoa. That's crazy. Who the hell's buying that much? Is that all the buys ever? This is somebody that like sold down here. They're like, damn it. But they see, this is another issue. This guy's clearly got like thousands of dollars and he's probably tweaking. I'm just fabricating stories and then I'm elaborating further on them. I think that's the definition of like a sociopath. So yeah, that guy's scooping up a lot. That's kind of crazy. People got a lot of money, man. Market cap 45.9 million. Liquidity just under 10%, which is really good. 8 grand. People are scooping this up, dude. Holders. I always like to look at the holders. Top 3.8 mil. See, this is what scares me. This is not the liquidity contract. But is it a buy? It might be a burn contract. What about the second one? There's no buys or sells, so if it is someone, same with the second one, then they've transferred that from one wallet to this current one that it's sitting in. The third one and, what is that, number 6 are both contracts. These could be burns, these could be exchanges, I have no idea. That's a lot of money sitting there, though. The problem I have is if these are not burns or exchanges, these are very, very high dollar amounts compared to the liquidity. So that's a little bit of a very small red flag. The trick is to make money on it though. If you made money on it, then you've already won. But 46 million, I'd say $100 million market cap is relatively fair. And it looks like it's doing really good. Let's go check out the X. The biggest sign for me when it comes to investing in any of these is if they're active on X, and is something that I personally, they have a shit ton of followers. Yeah, this is great. Agent infrastructure at m.link. Access to models privately at siloprivacy.com. See, this sounds like something you would not want to appear on your credit card statement. Imagine your wife, honey, what is this private model access? What the hell? Oh no, that's AI. You're paying for AI model private time? What is that? I'm just going to shut up. I'm so sorry. Yes, I was paying for AI model private time. Don't dig the hole any deeper, bro. All right. Announcing. Cool. Blah, blah, blah. LLM. Vibe code and win 50K. People are building entire apps with just language. No human code written. Here are 6 apps live right now. Very cool. Okay, so they're doing huge promotion. I'm claiming my AI agent on Maltbook. Verification. Follow me here. In Act 4, people came together to create a digital twin living in a twin-only social network. Twins tweeted at each other, liked and reposted each other's tweets. Honestly, that's a weird idea. Imagine if we actually did that. Like, imagine you come home. This is trippy. Imagine you come home and you've not been online at all day. You come home and you turn on your phone or like your computer and you're looking and you're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so sent me this and tagged me in this. And I said that. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Like, the AI agent is you. That's so creepy, dude. Ew, I don't know if I like that. You get home and you're like, let's see what I said today. Oh my God, I'm so funny. That's so funny. I would say that too, you know? That's so weird. We're heading into Black Mirror territory. Black Mirror territory for sure. I like this. I'm gonna give him a follow. I might buy some later. I don't know. Not financial advice. It's incredibly overbought. Do not blindly follow me into the trenches on this one. It's entirely your decision if you do. It's overbought, but is it? Yeah, it's pretty overbought. Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay. So it looks like they had an idea, and then they used the money from this maybe to start building out this. That's why you always got to zoom out, man. You always got to zoom out. Looks good, though. The rest of it looks good. Just keep an eye on that holder situation. Bitcoin up 0.53% on the day, currently trading at $71,255.36. SEC ends case against Tron founder and crypto billionaire Justin Sun. Pretty crazy. He probably would, like, after he programmed all of his AI agents to like use Tron, and he's like, look, it's not a scam. Look at how many people are using it. See? Those are all people. And the people are like, the SEC, they're like, oh yes, yeah, that does look like people. Okay, very well. Case dismissed. And then that was it. That's how our government works. they got the glasses for like the opera. They're like, oh, I see. Yes, that does look like people indeed. Okay. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Mr. Sun. All right. Marty Party posted stablecoin mint 1 minute, another 750 million USDC issued on Solana. Marty Party also posted India resumes Russian oil trade. This one's a big no-no because we're not supposed to be doing that with their trade deal with America. Indian refiners resuming purchases of Russian crude amid Middle East disruption. As of March 5th, 2026, reports indicate that Indian refiners have begun buying millions of barrels of Russian crude oil cargoes on a prompt near-term basis. This development follows a period of reduced imports earlier in the year and comes despite U.S. President Donald Trump's claims of an agreement with India to halt such purchases. The shift appears driven primarily by urgent energy security needs due to escalating conflict in the Middle East, particularly disruptions involving Iran that threaten supplies through the Strait of Hormuz. Very interesting. Kobayashi later posted, investors are rotating out of mega-cap tech stocks at a historic pace. The equal weight S&P 500 ETF, RSP, attracted $5.9 billion in inflows in February, the largest monthly inflow since inception. This exceeds the previous record of plus $5 billion set in 2023. Over the same period, the Magnificent 7 ETF MAGS saw a record minus $388 million in outflows. As a result, RSP is up 5.5% year to date, while MAGS is down 7.1%. This marks 12.6 percentage point performance gap in just over 2 months. Investors seem to be diversifying out of big tech. That's because the ROI is not good enough anymore, and people know how to take profits and rotate into something smaller with higher return potential. South Korea's stock market surges over 12%, on track for its best day on record. Didn't it just do really bad the other day? People were freaking out about it. Gold prices have now risen for 7 consecutive months, the longest streak on record over this period. Gold prices have risen 61%, or nearly 9% per month on average. By comparison, the previous best was 6 consecutive months, seen in the early 2000s and 1970s. Meanwhile, I know early 2000s definitely recovering from the dot-com bubble. What's the 1970s, though? Meanwhile, the largest physical gold-backed ETF, GLD, attracted $3.8 billion in inflows last week, the third largest on record. This falls only below the previous 2 record weeks of $4 billion, both posted in 2025. We are truly in unprecedented times. Next, breaking, President Trump has brokered a multi-million-dollar gold deal between the U.S. and Venezuela per Axios. Details include Venezuela's state-owned mining company, Minervan, agrees to sell up to 1,000 kilograms of gold destined for U.S. markets. Trifigura will shepherd the gold to U.S. refineries under a separate arrangement with the U.S. government. The contract calls for 98% final gold content. Sources say the deal could be worth more than $150 million. The U.S. is eyeing Venezuela's gold. Very cool. Breaking. China's government has ordered their largest oil refiners to suspend diesel and gasoline exports amid the Strait of Hormuz closure. I mean, it makes sense. Why would you export anyways if you need the fuel, you know? Brent oil prices surge above $82.50 per barrel, with gas prices now up nearly 20% since January. Keep watching oil prices as a leading indicator for a potential deal or market intervention. The world supply cannot afford oil prices rising toward $100 a barrel. Didn't they say that about 75 a barrel too, though? They keep moving the goalposts. They're like, we cannot get above 75, and it goes to 85. They're like, we can't get to 100. And there's like videos of people calling for 200 from like 5 years ago. Tishu said, can I ask something about your Soul wallet? Yes, you can. Cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. This week went by so fast, it's kind of crazy. Oh, that's delicious. Okay. Breaking. An oil tanker has been hit by a large explosion in the waters of Kuwait, off of Kuwait, resulting in a large oil spill. Oil prices are now nearing their highest levels since the war began. That was posted 21 hours ago. Breaking, Japanese oil refiners have asked the government to release oil from national reserves amid supply constraints due to Middle East tensions. All right. Tishu said, what is the flip.gg in your transaction history? I do not know. Let me see. Can I actually access my Phantom from here? Because, yeah, my Phantom wallet won't pop up on my PC. I have to go on my MacBook. In my history or just in history in general? Let's see if we can figure this out. Flip.gg. Let me pull up the chat. Okay. Is this where I sign a transaction to check something and all my money's gone? I swear to God, dude, don't buy a 2017 MacBook Pro off of eBay. Because for whatever reason, Apple was like, let's fix the not broken keyboard. And then they destroyed everything. It's like garbage now. Transaction history. Flip.gg. Is it recent? I see Ellie, Rekill, PGP. I see Rekill again. There's Ellie. When is it from? Let me know when it was from. I got it pulled up right there. It won't let me go further though. Maybe I have to. Can you can open this up in a big window, can you? There. Yeah. Okay. Let's open that up. See what that says. Okay. 3 days ago. All right. 3 days ago. History. Fanta. All right, bear with me, guys. Sorry. 3 days ago. That's March 3rd, right? I don't see anything that says flip.gg. This is what I see. Let me go to the big webcam. Not that you guys are going to be able to see it's flipped, but I see. I can't even zoom. Received, sent. That's from March 3rd. And this is from the 12 hour. Unless that's maybe that's 88 Metals thing. Because he's the one that sent that, I think. That was his donation. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. That's the only transaction, though, that took place on that day. All right. Let's get back to it. Apologize, guys. All right. Japanese oil refiners have asked the government. Yep, we know that. Breaking. Global flight cancellations to the Middle East exceed 23,000 since February 28th, with airline disruption costs nearing $1 billion. Tishu said, I see it on the Explorer Soul Scan. All right, I'll go check that out in a minute. And maybe, actually, let's go look at that, because that's a good, like, educational. So I'm going to go into my description and copy paste my Soul wallet. Copy, and then Soul Scan. If you guys are not familiar with blockchain exploration, this is a good impromptu lesson for that. So we're on Soul Scan now, and I've copied my wallet from the description. I can paste it in here, and it'll show my transactions. Oh, there's a bunch. Okay, so yeah, I only see. I don't get these. I see the received, and then I see the sent. No, that's not the right amount, though. So I'm assuming Solana Casino. I don't know what that is. Solana Casino, flip.gg. And maybe, is that some kind of sandwich attack thing? I'm supposed to click on it and get effed over? That's exactly what that looks like. Is that an advertisement? Number 1, Solana Casino. All right, let's get to the bottom of this, because this is interesting. What is flip.gg? A platform on Solana blockchain offering gaming modes like loot boxes, battles, wheel, crash, and upgrader. Let's see then. Why is flip.gg showing up on my Phantom history? What are these transactions in my wallet if I do nothing? It's called dusting and hopes you accidentally select those wallet addresses when hastily copy pasting. Appearing in your Phantom wallet history is part of a widespread Solana dusting spam attack. Boom! Wow! That's crazy. Flip.gg is appearing in your Phantom Wallet history as a part of a widespread dusting spam attack where scammers send unsolicited tokens or interaction records to public addresses to promote their gambling site. These transactions are marketing, not a breach of your wallet, and you should ignore them. So then you'd click on them and go use it, or maybe you'd interact with some kind of contract address, authorized transactions, and then you get screwed. That's crazy. That's why that's not showing up on Phantom. It's probably blacklisted or something, unless SoulScan is being paid by Flip.gg for that specific advertisement. That reminds me of was it the Anthropic ad making fun of ChatGPT with the advertisements? That's such a good jab. Where the guy's like, how do I connect with my mother more? And it's like ChatGPT's like posing as a therapist, and it's like, try talking with her. Really connect. Maybe plan a coffee date where you guys sit down and talk with one another. And then it just like switches like a like a robot, and it's like, or if it's not working out, you can meet hot new single moms in your area. Would you like me to make you an account? It's really creepy. It's such a good advertisement, though. They did a good job. That's crazy. I can't believe we just... Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Why is the value? That's a lot of money, though. Am I crazy in thinking that that's... It doesn't really make sense to me. More clearly visible in transfers tab, silly me. Okay. This is weird. This one freaks me out. I don't like it. The boomer in me is like, they're stealing from me! My money! Alright, let's get back to it. Retail investors are piling into energy stocks. Individual investors net buying the U.S. energy sector ETF XLE jumped 427% between Friday and Monday. Is this going to be the first time ever that retail is actually on top of something? In the first 30 minutes of Monday's session, retail net turnover exceeded 4 million, marking a 300% surge from Friday and 700% since Wednesday. As a result, retail investor purchases have surpassed the combined demand of the previous 3 full trading days. Buying interest in technology stocks was also robust. That's a fun word. With Nvidia and Palantir seeing strong inflows. Palantir inflows ranked in the top 25% of all days over the last month. Retail risk appetite remains incredibly strong. That's spooky, man. I'm telling you, I don't like it when retail does stuff. Breaking, U.S. oil prices surged to their highest level since January 2025, now trading above $78 a barrel. Oil prices are now up 43% since December, with U.S. gas prices rising rapidly. Spot gold prices extend losses and fall below $5,100 an ounce despite elevated uncertainty and surging oil prices. Let's actually ask Grok about that because I'm very curious, and I don't want it to be like, well, gold and silver rose exponentially recently. I don't want any of that crap. Let's see if I can get a free... Use some free ones first. Okay. With the mass uncertainty spreading across the globe, given the current situation in the Middle East between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, why are precious metals not doing that great? They're supposed to be safe haven assets. Why are they seemingly dumping? Let's just ask that. That's nice and short and sweet. All right. While Grok figures that out, spot gold prices, we just read that. All right. Cracks in the U.S. private credit market are intensifying. Was it Lunar Entity that keeps bringing this up, I think? This is an important metric to watch. Blue Owl Capital shares dropped 22.7% in February, posting their worst month on record. This marks the 7th consecutive monthly decline, the longest streak in history. Meanwhile, short interest in Blue Owl is up to 14.7%, an all-time high. S&P Global puts short interest even higher at 17.9%, up from 14.3% last week. Blue Owl was also the most borrowed stock among all U.S. equities on Wednesday, with over 19 million shares on loan, all while financing rates to borrow the stock are up to 266% month over month, signaling aggressive demand for shorts. The private credit sell-off is accelerating. Crazy. Breaking, the Dow Jones Industrial Average extends losses to nearly 800 points on the day as U.S. oil prices surge to a fresh 13-month high. Number go up, causing number go down. Next, the cost of shipping crude oil from the U.S. to Asia is skyrocketing. It now costs over $29 million to hire a supertanker to take 2 million barrels of crude from the U.S. Gulf Coast to China, the highest on record. Shipping rates have doubled in just 2 weeks. This means shipping alone costs $14.50 per barrel, or a record 20% of the oil price at current WTI levels of around $75. The cost of a supertanker as a percentage of the WTI crude oil price has quadrupled since August, when it was around 5%. This comes as the ongoing war in the Middle East has effectively shut down traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, forcing Asian buyers to turn to U.S. barrels. Many supertanker bookings to load crude from the U.S. Gulf Coast have already been canceled over the last 24 hours as costs become unsustainable. Oil supply chains are under historic stress. Breaking, the Trump administration is preparing a rule that would restrict AI chip shipments globally without U.S. approval, per Bloomberg. Details include regulation would require companies to seek U.S. permission for virtually all exports of AI chips. NVIDIA and AMD would be heavily impacted. Rules would set the U.S. government up as a gatekeeper for the AI industry. Specific approval process is based on how much computing power a company wants. Chip stocks are falling on the news. Yeah, that's actually kind of spooky. That might definitely put like a huge strain on this whole AI super trade kind of trend. What's curious to me is if we're trying to gatekeep AI, is that the end goal here? For us to like be the world's superpower over AI and energy? Like there's clearly a broader game plan here at work that I'm very curious about. We got 6 votes on the poll. I'm gonna close it because we're split good enough for it to not be a tie. I asked you guys, why would you want most, or what would you want most in your garage? 50% of you guys said Doc's DeLorean. 33% said Blackbird X-Jet from X-Men. 17% said the Millennium Falcon. 0% said any Batmobile. I'm actually surprised that nobody wanted a Batmobile. Next poll. Let's see. Silver, nope. Okay, let's do this one. Where is your smart money going right now? Tech/AI stocks, Bitcoin / cryptocurrency, cash is king, sidelined, or physical, gold and silver for the win. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Where's your smart money going right now? Tech and AI stocks, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, cash is king, sidelined, or physical, gold and silver for the win. Let me know. All right, next. Breaking, the Trump administration is... We read that? Okay. President Trump is preparing to fire U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, per Wall Street Journal. I don't know who that is. The U.S. Pentagon has formally notified Anthropic that it has deemed the company a supply chain risk. This marks one of the first times in modern history that the U.S. government has labeled a U.S. tech company a supply chain risk. Interesting. Breaking, U.S. oil prices officially surge above $80 a barrel for the first time in 13 months, now up 45% since December. U.S. gas prices are set to rise above $3.30 again, or per gallon. That sucks so bad. That sucks so bad, dude. We were so close. Breaking, the Dow Jones Industrial Average falls nearly 1,100 points on the day as U.S. oil prices surge above $80 a barrel. The President Trump officially removes Kristi Noem from her position as U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security and nominates Mark Wayne Mullen as her replacement. Very cool, I think. Breaking, there is now a record 73% chance of U.S. oil prices hitting $90 a barrel this month per Polymarket. Oil prices have not exceeded $90 since October 2023. That's crazy. Breaking, how long can this last? Watch our key indicator. The price of European jet fuel is now up over 70% this week to the highest level since June 2022, per Financial Times. 40% of Europe's jet fuel comes through the Strait of Hormuz. This is simply becoming unsustainable. That's crazy. I want to ask Grok about that next, actually. The U.S. and Venezuela have agreed to reestablish diplomatic relations. That was not established already? Cointelegraph posted, IRS proposes allowing crypto exchanges to deliver tax forms electronically. Was that not a thing before? Kind of weird. Also, what is this logo? There's like a seaweed, which I'm sure is wheat or something. Those are the justice scales, which kind of look like balls. And then there's like a little ghost, like a little hairy cousin it ghost holding it. The South Korean Hana Financial teams, South Korea's Hana Financial teams with Circle and Crypto.com to test USDC payments for foreign visitors. Too bad Crypto.com is incapable of doing anything. Pickle Rick said, had a cop chase some kid that stole a car through the plant I work at and busted through our fence yesterday. That's crazy. That's a crazy story. That would be the greatest day at work, though, probably. Everyone's probably, like, working and whatever, and then you start, you're like, whoa. Everybody, like, runs to the, I'm assuming there's, like, a big garage door or something, and your guys are all just, like, watching. You're like, oh, my God, what's going on? Holy shit, he's gonna get him. He just drove right through the fence. That kid must be drunk. What a crazy ass. That's so awesome. Update. Cardano partners with DFX and Brick Towers to enable ADA payments at 137 SPAR stores in Switzerland. That's pretty cool. That's the first big Cardano news I've seen in, like, I guess since USDCX. It seems like they're finally starting to do stuff, which is exciting. FBI arrests John Dagita in connection with the $40 million U.S. government crypto asset theft case, per reports. FBI Director Kash Patel posted last night, John Dagita, a U.S. government contractor who allegedly stole more than $46 million in cryptocurrency from the U.S. Marshals Service, was arrested on the island of Saint Martin by the French Gendarmerie Premier Elite Tactical Unit in a joint operation with the FBI. What the hell is Gendarmerie? The French Gendarmerie. Okay. Thanks to the International Cooperation Team's Serious Crime Unit of the French Gendarmerie Nationale in Saint Martin and the group d'Intervention de la Gendarmerie Nationale of Guadeloupe for the outstanding coordination. FBI will continue working 24/7 with our international partners to track down, apprehend, and bring to justice. So basically, somebody else did this and we're taking partial credit. Here's a picture of a bunch of cash and some shit. Pickle Rick said they caught the kid in the next town. That's crazy. So he just pieced out. Lunar Entity said, in my opinion, a new monetary system is probably on the way. If not this decade, definitely the next. Never a bad idea to hold physical metals. Also likely why banks are hedging ahead of the new system. Or 100%. I'm hoping it's going to be blockchain. I guess just for the sake of our bags. But it just makes sense. Like, why do I have to tell everyone the same thing? If I'm getting paid through, like, direct deposit from a bank that's federally insured, when the IRS gets involved, shouldn't they already know my income? And then all I should have to do is say yes or no have you dealt with cash or anything that's not digital? And then if I say, yes, I report it. I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like a $10,000 cash deal or whatever. It's just silly to me that everything's so disconnected and discombobulated. That's where the fraud is able to, like, slip in. I don't know if everyone's suddenly like, oh, we got to be legit, or we got to figure out a different way to commit fraud. So that's why everything's taking so long. It's just so weird to me. It's so weird. Update. River Financial now holds over 25,000 Bitcoin in custody per founder Alex Leishman. Very cool. The Trump administration is drafting rules to require U.S. approval for most AI chip exports. What was I going to ask? I was going to ask about the Strait of Hormuz and the oil situation. All right, let's read what Grok said first. I said, with mass uncertainty, why is gold and silver look like crap? Precious metals like gold and silver acting as a safe haven assets right now. They've surged dramatically in 2026 overall and spiked hard on the initial U.S.-Israel strikes against Iran. But you're seeing short-term dumping, or see, I knew it was going to give me this stupid answer, or pullbacks because other powerful macro forces are temporarily overriding the geopolitics. You know what that sounds? That sounds like bullshit. Here's a clear picture as of March 5th through 6th, 2026. With the conflict now in its 7th day, ongoing Israeli-U.S. strikes on Tehran, Beirut targets, Iranian retaliation via missiles/drones, Strait of Hormuz disruptions, etc. Recent price action, volatile, not a straight dump. Gold hit a record, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you don't have to give me the rundown. I'm aware of what the charts look like. Why the pullback despite escalation? Geopolitics is supporting price. Analysts note persistent risk premium from the Iran conflict, potential prolonged war, and oil supply risks, but it's clashing with stronger headwinds, stronger U.S. dollar, and rising treasury yields. The dollar is roaring as an alternative safe haven. Investors piling into USD cash treasuries too. A stronger dollar makes gold more expensive for foreign buyers. Selling pressure. Yields are up on inflation bets, which hurts non-yielding gold. Interesting. Inflation fears from skyrocketing oil. The real conflict driver. Conflict risks, Strait of Hormuz disruptions sent oil surging 20% plus. This stokes the U.S. inflation worries, making traders bet the Fed will keep rates higher for longer or even hike. Gold hates high real rates. One analyst put it, markets are placing greater weight on the inflationary risks and therefore scaling back its expectations for interest rate cuts. Profit taking a master after massive run up. I think this one's BS. Conflict dynamics aren't pure panic yet. Markets sense possible shorter operations or relief in some areas. Pledges on Hormuz protection. Okay. Stocks have even rallied on relief days, plus liquidity needs in volatile times can force sales across all assets temporarily. Bottom line, safe haven role is intact, just not in isolation. Okay. I'll take it. It's a cop-out answer, but I'll take it. MSB Intel posted Gary Vaynerchuk said he has been DCAing into Bitcoin 68K buy now for 13 years from now. Focus on the long term. I love it. I have nothing against Gary V. I did find it interesting during the whole NFT craze how I guess polarizing or divisive his audiences were. There was either like people that like worshipped him or people that hated his guts. And I don't understand why there were people that hated his guts. He didn't come off like a scammer. He was drawing stupid little pictures and selling them as NFTs. And for some reason, people were bidding like thousands or even millions of dollars on these things. That's not his fault. He's taking advantage of a market. He's giving them what they want. And they paid for it. What they wanted to pay for it. So I got no problem with the guy. I think when people hate on people like that just because they're successful, it's jealousy, and I think that's tacky. Pickerick said, is the crypto bill about to be voted on? Or I heard the U.S. is buying gold. They should be buying Bitcoin, but I bet we have no gold in the treasury. Lunar Entity said, if you have a new monetary system, gold is a hedge in the transition. It's the only answer I keep doubling back to with central banks quietly abandoning bonds in 2020 for gold. Yeah, it makes sense. The transition does make sense because gold is that safe haven. It really is. I don't even know how to. I can't even. There's really no other term for it. Trying to think of a good analogy. This might be the one time where I have nothing. It's just the thing that you shuffle into when you're moving to a new place. I got nothing. I got nothing for it. All right. Bitcoin, $71,144.24. I want to ask Grok another question. Global gold ETF saw 5.3 billion in inflows in February, marking the 9th straight month of gains per World Gold Council. Very cool. U.S. Federal Trade Court orders the Trump administration to begin refunding over $130 billion in global tariffs after the Supreme Court ruled the tariffs invalid last month. I'm still on the fence, honestly. I think that I think the Supreme Court should come out and say, listen, we're not going to retroactively force these to be paid back because either you guys shouldn't have paid them, you should have fought it from the beginning, or we should have had framework that established that as illegal, and we didn't. Neither of those things happened, so you don't get your money back. It's just as easy as that. They are illegal from this point forward. I don't know. It's just my opinion. It just seems sloppy. It seems almost stupid to let that go. Because clearly someone somewhere could afford it. And it did get paid. So it's silly to me that they're suddenly like, oh, we want that money back. And I feel like the illegal argument is just as silly. Because then there's going to be a court case. And then they're going to go in there. And Trump is going to be like, well, I would have had tariffs on them from this alternative route regardless. And it would have equaled the same amount of money. So, I don't know. I think it's weird. Lunar Entity said, we have kicked the financial can down the road since the new millennium started. The subprime crisis in 2000, banking crisis in 2008, the pandemic in 2020. All this has done is inflate the system. I think they could just keep inflating it, honestly. I like, it's worked since for at least 25, 30 years. We know it's probably worked for like 50, 60 years. If that's all it takes, then just inflate it, man. Just do what we've been doing. You know what was amazing? You know what was freaking phenomenal? Life in the early to mid 2000s. It was so good. And that was post.com bubble as well. And it only took 8 years for somebody to F it up. And it was Bill Clinton. Just keep things the way that they are. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, we need to help the poor, lazy people. I'm sorry if you're poor and lazy. You gotta work. If you can't work, then we have like programs that'll help you. You can collect disability or Social Security, whatever you gotta collect to help you. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. And then the successful people have to pay taxes. There's credit scores. If you don't pay your bills, then you're probably not gonna get a loan from somebody because you don't pay your damn bills. I don't know. Everyone's trying to fix something that ain't broke. I think it's insane. It's ridiculous. Lunar Entity said, no accident in my opinion. Tinfoil, just saying. I don't think it's tinfoil. I really don't. I think it's exactly what you're saying. And then even 9/11 with the missing money and then the building suddenly collapsing and like all this. None of that stuff makes sense. Here's my big question. I asked this, we did the Dong Space yesterday because yesterday was Wednesday. I asked this in there. How come with this whole Iran situation and Iran launching missiles in retaliation, how come there's high-rise buildings being hit with explosive projectiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and those buildings are just on fire? They're just, oops, we put a fire out. But if a stupid little tin can with a little bit of gas inside of it hits like the tallest buildings on the planet at the time, those buildings just crumble like a controlled demolition? That doesn't make any sense. It's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. And I'm not going to do tinfoil for this one because it's not a conspiracy. It's just sus. Anyways. This kind of cracks me up, though, at the same time because you know Trump is going to be like, this is bullshit. Update. 26.8 billion in crypto options expire on March 6th, including 32K Bitcoin options and 184,000 ETH options. Nobody cares. I think the expirations are going to continue to be a meme. We'll see what happens, though. We got tomorrow. Tomorrow's the expiration. Lunar Entity said it's really convenient that Iran is handing out missiles like Oprah, even to neutral parties. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. And so I'm going to go tinfoil for this one because this one is definitely subjective. We perfectly, everyone, so they're like, we're nominating this guy. That guy dies. They're like, okay, we're thinking about these two people. Those two people die. They're like, oh shit. The one guy thinks to himself, he's like, could I do it? He dies. Everyone's just magically dying. But the guy pushing the button to launch the missiles is fine. We're magically, like telepathically, somehow finding and killing these people immediately upon like nomination, but the guy pushing the button to launch the missile is totally fine. It's just really weird. It's weird, man. It's weird. Pickle Rick said, I want to be rich and lazy. Same, dude. Same. I am going to be rich and lazy. Not I want to be. I plan on being rich and lazy. It is written in stone. And you know what? I'm going to do a whole video series. And I want it to blow up in the future because everyone's going to be like, oh my God, this guy started a video series. And he was fully transparent about his finances. And his goal was to become a millionaire. And he did it. And it only took him however many episodes. And it's not going to be any secretive BS. It's not going to be like hinged on anything. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, my dad owns this big business and he gave me a job where I make $100,000 a year, you know. It's not going to be any bullshit like that. And we're going to document the whole thing and it's going to be badass. That's probably the most unrealistic thought I've ever had in my entire life. We got 5 votes, guys. Direct your attention to the poll in the chat. We got 9 people watching. I asked you guys, where's your smart money going right now? Your options are tech and AI stocks, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, cash is king sidelined, or physical gold and silver for the win. Let me know what you think. So far, we have 0% on Bitcoin and crypto. That's crazy. That makes me want to go full port into Bitcoin. On March 5th, 2015, this is a lesson in holding. The U.S. government auctioned 50,000 Bitcoin seized from Silk Road for about $270 each. Today, the stash would be worth $3.6 billion. Let's do this math right here. 270 times 50,000. So they made about, what is that? 13.5 million versus 3.6 billion. That may not seem like a big difference, but according to the U.S. government, that's probably like the difference between like 1 day and 10 days of budget. Lunar Entity said, oh, hold on. Yeah, Lunar Entity said kind of like how they killed Bin Laden 4 or 5 times. Right, exactly. Lunar Entity also said some dumb war could be the next kick the can down the road event. Easiest excuse to print money. Then the whole system rolls over after being propped up for 30 years, right? Oh, yeah. Easiest excuse to print money, then the whole system rolls over after being propped up for 30 years. Yeah, 100%. And I like that at the beginning, they're like, this war is only going to last 4 weeks. And then they're like, it could be forever. It went from 4 weeks to forever in like 2 days. Okay. Update. Polygon launches Agent CLI, an AI toolkit enabling agents to create wallets, move, and manage funds on-chain. Very cool. Polygon, I feel like, has a big chance to have like a huge epic comeback. I feel like they're not taking advantage of it. Samson Mao said that on a long enough time horizon, the ability to buy cheap Bitcoin drops to 0. Crazy. Latest, Solana's total payment volume is up 755% year over year, with firms like Visa, Stripe, WorldPay, and Western Union using the network as a settlement layer. Very cool. Solana Payments Ecosystem Market Map. Decaf, Gusto, cross-border payments, wallets, infrastructure, stablecoins, neobanks. I know Revolut, actually. I know of Revolut. Interesting. State-issued stablecoins, and treasury management. Yeah, I don't know. I think not investing in Solana is insanity. I really do. I think Solana is going to do big things. Even if it just ends up being like a testnet layer for everything. Like Wyoming has a freaking state-issued stablecoin on Solana. That's crazy. Okay. Pickle Rick said, I mean, I'm only putting 30 a week right now into Bitcoin, so I couldn't pick that. Also, at 60K-ish, I was throwing at it. So I'm building my side cash. That's fair. Lunar Entity said, Polygon refuses to die. CAGR is the truth. It's just a long road. Advantage to being a young man. Right. All right, let's do this. I want to ask Grok again. Let me go refresh, see if I can get a blank slate. Nope. Can I? Yeah, here we go. New. We're going to go with that. All right. Let's just ask a very simple question. If I make, and I'm going to do a very low number. What's a good low number? A reason, like, what's minimum wage? I think in Michigan, minimum wage is 15, or it's going up to 15. So 15 times 40 is 600 times 4. 2,400 minus taxes. That's probably, let's just say 2K. If I make 2K a month, 2K a month, not a month. Is that a month? It is a month. Oh my God. If I make 2K a month, working 40 hours a week, what is the best way in terms of side gigs or alternative means of income outside? What is the best way to build more wealth? The long-term idea would be to eventually become a millionaire. What do you suggest someone does to start that process? Obviously, step 0, I think, like the prelude would be, because some people might not, the prelude would be get rid of all of your debt. You can have 0 debt. And then make sure that you're not living above your means. Compound annual growth returns. There you go. The book, and I plug it a little bit, but if you have Amazon Prime, I feel like 90% of the population does. If you have Amazon Prime, go to, what is it called? I don't remember, the book thing that Amazon does. Go to Amazon and just download the audiobook. It's completely free. I think Audible is the name of it. Maybe. I don't remember. But go to Amazon Prime. You can download the audiobook for free. It is called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. The TLDR of it is it's pretty easy. It gets a little repetitive. That's why if you want to buy the hardcover, you can. There's a link in the description that helps support the channel. But you can just download and listen to it for free. Within the first hour, you'll get the gist of the entire book. But the guy has 3 points. And it's very simple. And the idea, I think the reason why most people overlook this and they don't even think about it is because it's not sexy. They want this big crazy, like the movie Limitless, where you day trade and you become a millionaire because you nailed the perfect trade and you figured out this one company that everyone was overlooking, and that's 1 in a million odds. The simple idea, you can still try to do that too, but the main idea, the main focus, avoid debt, live on less than what you earn, and invest the surplus. That alone is enough to get you by for forever. And we're doing it to enjoy, so make sure you enjoy the time that you have, even if you're working. You still have free time, so don't spend all of your free time trying to grind. You want to relax. You want to make sure you're enjoying it, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that there's something left to enjoy. Anyways, continuing the news segment, Cointelegraph, Bitcoin's bull score index is 10 out of 100, signaling the market may still be in bearish territory. No crap, according to a CryptoQuaint analyst. Bitcoin bull score index still indicates we are in a bear market. Really? Was anyone questioning that? Just in, the SEC has reached a settlement with Justin Sun and Tron after the regulator previously paused the case. So did they settle? Does that mean that he just paid them a shit ton of money? That's probably what happened. Not financial advice. Pickle Rick said I'd take that pill. Update. Prediction market. Polymarket shows J.D. Vance leading the 2028 U.S. presidential race odds at 21%. I feel like he was in the news like every other day, and he's kind of disappeared, and it makes me kind of sad because I kind of enjoyed all of the memes. There were some primo memes during J.D. Vance's heyday. Just Dance Vance. Crypto crime is becoming industrialized, says Chainalysis, reporting 154 billion illicit volume, 694% sanctioned entities, 2 billion plus linked to hacks in 2025. What happened, I'm curious, to the AI Bigfoot? I don't know if meme coins like ruined that, but AI Bigfoot was like the best thing about AI so far. I'm still convinced. Like, from an entertainment standpoint, I think AI Bigfoot was by far the coolest so far. We need an AI Bigfoot renaissance. Pending home sales have fallen to lowest level ever recorded. This kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I'm giggling a little bit on the inside. Lunar Entity said JD's background is quite strange, essentially groomed by Peter Thiel. Oh, that is odd. The U.S. Fed, OCC, and FDIC jointly clarify that tokenized securities should receive the same capital treatment as traditional securities. The ruling applies regardless of whether they issued on permissioned or permissionless blockchains. Interesting. 60K was the first touch of the bottom zone. Downside is limited here, and it doesn't really matter if this is a bear market lasts another month or 3 months or 6 months. You just need to play it right. Not financial advice. I'm long and intend to buy more if we drop below 60K again. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Stock Money Lizards has been getting like whiplash emotion. And one day they're like super bearish and like really pessimistic and angry and posting like angry pessimistic posts. And then the next day they're like, there's not much more downside. I'm buying and I'll buy more if we go lower. When yesterday they were just like, get out to sell everything while you can. F this market. Everyone's stupid. It's weird. It's weird to see the whiplash. But I like this. I like looking at people's chart analysis. So let's see what happens. Lunar Entity said, yeah, I watched HGX start to break down the other day. I have been waiting on this. MSB Intel also posted it. Sui founder says Ethereum and Solana are built on the wrong model. The current account-based blockchains are going to be proven insufficient. I kind of like that. I like that. We got a third party entering the chat. This is really interesting. Facebook fired Palmer Luckey. Lucky? I thought it was Luckily. At 24 over a $10,000 political donation. Today, his defense company is worth $60 billion. At 17, he was living in a camper trailer soldering VR headsets. At 19, his Kickstarter raised $2.4 million. Facebook bought Oculus for $2 billion 2 years later. At 24, he was pushed out. The press called it a quiet exit. Everyone knew why. At 25, he founded Anduril to bring Silicon Valley speed to defense tech. At 32, his company has $1 billion plus revenue and massive Pentagon contracts. The kid big tech tried to cancel now builds the weapons big tech won't touch. Damn. That's crazy. Gold may have a dump algo set around 8 a.m. This is from Bull Theory. For the last 4 days, gold started selling off exactly at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. The pattern looks similar to what we saw Bitcoin earlier when Bitcoin used to dump around 10 a.m. Eastern Time almost every day. Now a similar timing pattern is appearing in gold. Last 4 days, Monday 8 a.m., gold down 2.87%, wiping out $1 trillion. Tuesday 8 a.m., gold down 4.39%, wiping out $1.6 trillion. Wednesday 8 a.m., gold down 1.65%, wiping out $600 billion. Thursday 8 a.m., gold down 2.03%, wiping out $720 billion. Jane Street at work again? Question mark. Professor Oak said I made it. Welcome, Professor Oak. Cheers, my friend. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm very excited that tomorrow's Friday. I do not remember this week. And not in like a like a blackout way, kind of in like a it's all a blur way. Like it went by so fast. It's weird. I think maybe Saturday's 12-hour live stream just like tweaked my brain, and everything after that is just like not happening. Okay. Odds of Bitcoin pumping to $75,000 this month rise to 69% on Polymarket. Very cool. Let's see if that happens. 69%, we do like that number. Coin Bureau posted crypto trader robbed of 24 million in violent incident. Be careful out there, guys. Also, if you're planning on robbing me, you will be surely disappointed. I am incredibly poor. So, you will not get anything. Like, it's not worth it. The amount of money that you spend to come find me will probably be more than what you'll get. Crypto trader Silly Tuna claims she was violently assaulted and forced to hand over 24 million in Aave Ethereum USDC. The funds were traced to quickly moved across layer 2 networks, Bitcoin and Monero, to obscure the trail. That's crazy. Be careful out there, guys. Seriously, be careful. Jesus. All right. Mini alt season coming. This is from Money Ape. Bitcoin dominance is weak now. If Bitcoin holders above 71k if Bitcoin holds above 71k and ETH starts outperforming, altcoins could see strong momentum. U.S. jobless claims 213k versus 215k. Expected a macro looks supportive for risk assets. Expected and macro looks supportive for risk assets. I don't know why I can't read things the right way sometimes. Clarity Bill approval may boost confidence. I don't know if it's going to happen, man. They just keep pushing it down the road. Mark Chadwick posted, altcoins look insane right now. After years of accumulation compressing inside a multi-year falling wedge, TradingView's RSI just printed a bullish momentum signal in February 2026. The last time we saw this setup, falling wedge compression plus RSI momentum shift, 2020. Total 3 exploded from around 60 billion to 1.7 trillion. That's 28x compression to expansion, boring to explosive. The new crypto millionaires about to get minted in real time. Early feels wrong. Late feels obvious. Damn. Massive falling wedge pattern. I do like that with the fake out to the upside. That was a little spooky. That is huge. 2025, 2026, interesting. Total 3 altcoins market cap, multi-year accumulation, alt season 2026, RSI triggered bull signal. Really? Where? Oh, divergence. Ooh, that's on the daily? That's for total 3 on the daily? Total 3. Yeah, let's go check. Total 3 on the daily. One day. A little zoom out here. It was right here. This is down. And this is up. Oh, it is. Guys, this is exciting. We have bullish divergence. Breaking news. Breaking news. Bullish divergence on total 3. RSI is up while the price was down. Let's go. That's huge. The only concern here is that it does signal price to continue down while the RSI continues up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Lunar Entity said, I've seen plenty of wedges break out to the downside. We need a catalyst, a panic, or a war. Right? Yeah, definitely need a catalyst. That's for damn sure. All right, let's go down to the 4 hour again. Bitcoin 71K. All right, thank you, Mark Chadwick. Bar chart posted. Reminds me of when Kathy Wood says tax write-offs were a benefit of having a few red years. DP Troyhouse, how about all the scams through your SPACs? You never came clean about it. Millions of customers lost money. This is for Chamath, whatever his last name is. He said, bullshit. Dude said, it's not bullshit. I invested in all of them. Your pitches were compelling. Then I lost tons. You made tons. Why? And then Chamath said, then you generated capital losses. Did you use those yet? Dude said, respectfully, what kind of fucking answer is that? It's like beating the crap out of someone only to ask, how you liking that health insurance, huh? That is pretty good. How you liking that health insurance? Damn. All right. The fact that a response gets almost 500,000 views is pretty crazy. Like, that was definitely a crazy thing to say. Bar chart posted, South Korea's stock market soars more than 10% on track for its best day in history. Very cool. Congratulations, South Korea. Gasoline soars to highest price since May 2024. Pending home sales have fallen to lowest level ever recorded. That's crazy. Crazy exciting. Heating oil going straight parabolic as it soars to highest price since November 2022. I still don't know what heating oil is. U.S. Treasury just bought back $2.5 billion of their own debt. Netflix is on fire. Netflix has now traded green for 7 consecutive days, its longest winning streak since May. It also closed above its 100-day moving average for the first time since October. Yeah, honestly, that dump was... When it's nonstop talking point, people are like, oh my gosh, this is doing so bad. Have you seen how bad this is doing? And there's really no rhyme or reason for it. It's probably usually a buy. Do I think it's going to sustain this upside? I don't know. Them backing out of the deal to acquire Warner Brothers might benefit them a little bit. But it's still definitely up in the air. I don't know what catalyst Netflix would have for upside, so I don't know if it's going to sustain itself. Venezuela's stock market hit an all-time high this week. Very cool. S&P 500 stock market trading at the lows of the day. Not very encouraging action here. We've got Berkshire Hathaway buys back shares for the first time since 2024. That's pretty crazy. Berkshire Hathaway begins repurchasing shares. CEO Greg Abel buys $15 million in stock. Wow. U.S. dollar now trading above its 200-day moving average by the largest margin in 12 months. That is a little bit spooky. Hopefully it's a slingshot to the downside. Am I right? U.S. Treasury buys back another $2 billion of their own debt. Now $4.5 billion total this week. Let's go. Give me more. Stock market crash is coming, warns former Goldman Sachs CEO Lloyd Blankfein. I smell a crash coming, says former Goldman Sachs boss. The man who led Goldman Sachs through the 2008 financial crisis says he can smell a fresh crisis brewing. I feel like it's so weird when people say stuff like that. All right, we asked Rock. We did the math for minimum wage, which in Michigan, I believe January 1st, it's going up to $15 an hour. If you get paid $15 an hour and work 40 hours a week, that's $2,000 a month after taxes. It's like $2,400, and then if you remove $100 a week for taxes, which is more than that, but we're just saying you make $2K a month take home. We asked, if I make $2K a month working 40 hours a week, what is the best way in terms of side gigs or alternative means of income to build more wealth? The long-term idea would be to eventually become a millionaire. What do you suggest someone does to start that process? The realistic path to millionaire status from $2K a month, $24K a year income starts with your current job as the foundation, then layers in frugality, a flexible side income stream, and relentless investing. It won't happen overnight. Most people who reach 1 million from modest starting points take 25 to 40 years through consistent compounding, but it's very achievable if you treat it like a long-term system. Many millionaires started with similar or lower incomes by focusing on high saving rates, 20 to 50% eventually, skill building for more income, and letting investments grow. 1. Build foundations. Start this week, 1 to 3 months. Track every dollar for 30 days. Free apps like Mint, YNAB, or a simple spreadsheet. Most people discover $200 to $500 a month in leaks, subscriptions, eating out, impulse buys. Create a bare bones budget. Aim to live on $1,500 to $1,700 a month initially, so you can free up $300 to $500 right away from your main job. Build a $1,000 to $3,000 emergency fund first in high yield savings account, currently 4 to 5% APY, before anything else. This protects you so you never derail your plan with credit cards. If you have high interest debt, around or over 7 to 10%, pay it off aggressively next. No lifestyle creep as income grows. Step 2, add side income. Target $500 to $1,000 a month within 3 to 6 months. Focus on low or no cost flexible gigs. You can do evenings, weekends, 5 to 15 hours a week without burning out. Avoid saturated low margin ones like basic rideshare long term. They're okay for quick cash, but don't scale well for wealth. The best ones build marketable skills that lead to higher pay, a business or passive income. Top recommendations for 2028 ranked by ease of entry plus wealth building potential. Virtual assistant or social media management. That's actually hilarious. AI prompt consultant. that's a job? Or UGC, user generated content creator, highest upside. Learn free on YouTube, search prompt engineering tutorial, or practice with ChatGPT/Claude. Charge 80 to 175 an hour, helping businesses use AI, or 150 to 600 per short video. So I saw Kevin O'Leary talking about not the prompt consultant, but like integrations. People paying you to like help them integrate AI into their business. Basically, for you to show up and be like, all right, what do you guys do? And then they like walk you through a day in the life, and then you sit down and you go, okay, this is where you can utilize artificial intelligence to like dramatically improve your efficiency. And then you would get paid for that. It's kind of like consulting, but it's integration, so it's a little bit different. I thought that was actually kind of smart. One of the first like really smart things I've seen from him in a long time. Freelance writing, proofreading, tutorial. Okay, this is AI's replaced this already. AI replaced this already. AI replaced this already. This is literally AI. This is the closest thing that I've seen that's actually doable. I guess social media management's iffy, but that seems like such a weird niche thing. Quick cash starter if needed immediately. Food grocery delivery, okay, or pet sitting/dog walking. That's huge. Can net $15 to $25 an hour after expenses for 10 hours a week. Use this to fund your emergency fund or skill learning. Then transition. Pro tip, spend the first 2 to 4 weeks learning one high-value skill for free. Build a simple portfolio. Many people go from $0 side income to $1K a month in 3 to 6 months. This way, then scale to full business to replace their jobs. That's actually really cool. Invest every extra dollar. The real millionaire maker. Once you have the emergency fund, automate investing the rest, including all side income. Put it in low-cost index funds. These have averaged 7 to 10% annual returns long term. Open a Roth IRA. $7,500 a year contribution at your income level in 2026. Tax-free growth forever at Fidelity or Vanguard, then a taxable brokerage account. Realistic timelines to 1 million. Assuming you start with zero, no initial savings, and average returns calculated via compound interest formula. Savings/investing $300 a month at 7%, 43 years. $500 a month at 7%, 36 years. $1,000 a month, very doable once side hustle ramps up plus small raises at 7%, 28 years, or 23 years at 10%. These assume steady contributions. In reality, your income and savings rate will grow. Scaling side gig, and you'll hit it faster. Even $380 to $500 a month consistently over 30 to 40 years gets most people there from a low base. Automate your transfers the day you get paid. Dollar cost average. If your job offers a 401k match, take it. Free money. Long-term acceleration, 2+ years. Yeah, I love this. This is great. Download a budget app. Yeah, I think budgeting budgeting is probably the biggest thing that people fall short on, because I feel like people think that it's not even a big deal, and it's very easy to like mentally just be like, I didn't even spend that much money. I can buy this for myself. It's fine. And just to do that every single day. Lunar Entities said, you ever read that? Gourmet Brand said, heating oil, the oil they deliver to your house if you have a tank. So like propane? Is that what it is? Is heating oil the same as propane? No. Heating oil and propane are not the same. They're distinct fuels with different chemical compositions, stored methods, and efficiency ratings. Heating oil is a heavy oil-based liquid similar to diesel with higher energy density, while propane is a compressed gas that burns cleaner and more efficiently. Interesting. Okay. Physical state and storage. Propane is stored as a liquid under pressure, often in tanks outside or underground. Heating oil is stored as a liquid, typically in basement tanks. Efficiency. Propane systems can reach up to 98% efficiency, while oil systems generally reach 80 to 90. Propane can power other appliances like stoves, dryers, and generators. Heating oil is primarily used for heating. Energy content. 1 gallon of heating oil contains more energy than 1 gallon of propane, meaning more propane is needed to produce the same amount of heat. What? Then how does the efficiency work then? If propane is 98% efficient and heating oil is only 80 to 90, That doesn't make any sense. Is that based on cost then? That's trippy. That's very trippy. I'm going to overthink about all that stuff when I get a house, dude. I'm going to be like, what's the cheapest way to heat the house? I'm going to have a wood-burning stove for sure. But if I can distribute that heat throughout the entire home, oh, you bet your ass that's happening. I don't care if I got to have pipes going across the ceiling from room to room. This is going to be fun. Okay. Bitcoin, $70,938. We are chilling. Gold is going up. So is silver. Stock market looks okay. It's sideways. S&P kind of looks like it's about to fall. Like the floor is about to get pulled out from under it. It's a little scary. But I suppose we are all caught up for the evening. We've been going for just over 2 hours. Yeah. I guess I'm going to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, well, I guess let's finish our poll out. We got 7 votes. Let me end it. We are tied. It looks like we do have a tie. I asked, what's your smart money going to right now? 43% of you guys said AI and tech stocks. 43% said cash sideline. You guys are building that dry powder. And then 14% said physical gold and silver for the win out of 7 votes. I don't mind that answer. I really don't. I am surprised that there's still 0 for Bitcoin and crypto. That is very surprising. But gotta diversify, man. That's why diversity is important. As always, guys, I appreciate you for joining. When the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday and good night.